Mtazamaji, ni hafla nzima kuanzia mwendo asubuhi kufikia sasa. Ni hafla ambayo inafanyika katika kaunti hii ya Makueni kuhusiana na kuzinduliwa kwa siku 16 siku za kuadhimisha hizi siku 16 bila shaka ni za kupambana na dhulma za kijinsia, mtazamaji, ikiwa ni hafla ambayo imezinduliwa hapa katika kaunti hii ya Makueni kuanzia mwendo wa asubuhi. Kuna mengi ambayo yamezungumziwa, kuna mengi ambayo yanatarajiwa kufanyika katika muda huu wa siku hizi 16, lakini kaunti ya Makueni inasema si 16 upande wa kwao, bali ni siku 365, yani mwaka mzima tutakuwa nazungumzia hafla hiyo, ama tutazungumzia swala hili la dhulma za kijinsia. Na leo basi hapa nje sasa hivi naungana na mwenzangu ambaye ni mkuu wa Umoja wa Mataifa, yani UN Women, anasimamia kitengo hiki, lakini hasa yeye anawakilisha mwakilishi wa taifa hapa nchini Kenya, na ni Dan Bazira ambaye naungana naye sasa moja kwa moja. Dan, welcome to NTV.
Thank you so much.
To start with, maybe what is your view on the 16 days against GBV?
Well, the 16 days of activism against GBV is a period that we use to campaign against these odds that relate to gender-based violence. And we use it as a platform where we mobilize the community to ensure that the community is part of this agenda, where we are saying there should be an end towards violence against women and girls, where we rally different stakeholders, including the government, the county government level, the development partners, and the private sector, to bring them together and say, hey, we need to ensure that the voice against women and girls end. So that's part of what we use as an agenda behind the 16 days of activism.
Mm-hmm. And maybe one question that anyone will ask, why Makueni County?
Well, why Makueni County? Number one is that Makueni statistically had issues to do with sexual-based, gender-based violence. But also, over and above that, there has been a very heavy investment by the county government in terms of setting up policies, not only leaving the policies in the boardroom, but also ensuring that these policies are implemented. As I speak, as a county, they have invested and earmarked funding within this financial year to ensure that there is that investment to set up around 6 safe houses where these GBV survivors can be housed, can be put for a period of time. So that alone enticed us as UN Women, as the UN system, to partner with the State Department for Gender to have this event launched here, because they act as role model across the different counties in the country.
Mm-hmm. Makueni County is talking about 365 days of activism, not the 16 days.
Of course.
Way and above the normal 16 days that you guys are celebrating or launching today. Maybe what are the expectations for Kenyans within these 16 days of activism? Okay.
One of the expectations is that we want to achieve as UN Women and the entire UN system in Kenya is that we want to see development partners invest into this agenda of ending GBV. Number two is also to call upon the government, the different pillars of the government, judiciary, the executive, the legislative arm, to ensure that they put attentional indicators towards ending gender-based violence. As we speak, the government nationally has earmarked around 0.02% of the national budget. So we use this campaign to say, guys, look at the statistics. What is the statistics coming out? We have femicide currently. We have GBV increase in different spaces. So we intend to use the 16 days as part of the 365 in the different counties, including Makueni, to say, can we increase investment to end gender-based violence in the country? So that's one of the agendas. The other agenda is also to call upon the different community-led leaders, the religious leaders, the culture institutions in the country, to say, you are the custodians of some of these social norms that we want to advocate against, the harmful practices. Talk of the child marriages that are happening. Bring on board issues to do with female gender genital mutilation that is happening in the country. So that is part of what we are saying, that we want to bring them together into one space and say, can we get united and end this violence against women and girls.
And at the moment, Dan, one of the major issues that we're dealing with right now is feminism. Femicide is on the rise in the country. Maybe what do you think should be done to ensure that such kind of cases are done away with? At least a little bit of some change is experienced with this kind of behavior that has been experienced in the country.
So thank you so much for that question. One is that, as I said, femicide has been on the rise. Just in the last 1 month, we are talking of around 97 cases of women that have been killed. So, and recently, the president of Kenya came up and announced, committed 100 million. Yes, we appreciate those efforts. But what we are saying is, we have the policies, we have the laws that are shielded somewhere, that are seated somewhere in the people's shelves. We are saying, can we bring out these policies? Can we bring out these laws that we start to make accountable of those perpetrators of this vice, of the femicide in the country? As UN Women, we call upon the political will. We appreciate the political will that is existing in the country, but we can move that higher, because losing a life is losing a commitment of the next generation. So it is very important that there is investment in terms of ensuring that these laws and policies are implemented, investment in terms of the financial commitment. As I said, we have a very low budget that is earmarked at the national level. Can we increase on that? And also the different actors, the media, you need to play a critical role by identifying and reporting some of this. We have seen where the judiciary, the police have come into, swing into action, is where the social media has come into place to say, hey, look, there is this case. But those are just small, few cases that are happening in the country. What of other cases that have not yet been reported? So it is important that we use even the media to be champions in terms of reporting these cases and following through with conclusion of these cases.
Of course, and I can assure that NTV has been the forefront in fighting some of these issues and highlighting them in the national media or television. Away from that, what do you think are the challenges that are facing the fight against GBV?
One of the critical challenges is the social construct, where women are pushed aside and the men take up the leadership. And then as they take up the leadership, my expectation is that men would be stewards that actually would help in terms of ending some of these harmful practices. But instead it has turned around that. So that is a very major root cause of some of these vices of GBV. The other aspect is the limited resources. We have very limited resources, earmarked right at national level, at the county level, but even for other actors, for example, the private sector, to say, we have this fund that we can actually invest in a given county, for example, in Makueni, that is standing out, to say, can we invest in the county? And so that we end this GBV that is existing.
Of course, and maybe as we finish, what is the UN doing, and especially the UN Women, what is it doing to ensure that we conquer these challenges, we are able to beat the challenges and say that we've been successful in the fight, and especially in the fight against GBV?
One of the things that UN Women is doing is to use a holistic approach in addressing the challenges that these women and girls experience. We and personally have taken an initiative to say we don't need to pie out a girl, we don't need to pie out a woman to pick out one thing and fly with that, but addressing the totality of these women. Economic empowerment programming, that's one of the areas that we are doing as UN Women, investing in 2 programs that really uplift the lives of women and girls in the different communities, bringing together the different actors into as part of the development actors at the different layers, and also ensuring that these women are part of the governance system, because that is very critical. The other aspect that we recently launched is an initiative around African Girls Can Code initiative, and that's around the digitalization. We have, over time, we have seen in the country how the digital presents an opportunity, both in terms of ending violence against women and girls, helping in terms of reporting, but also ensuring that everything that relates to women is amplified. So it's very important that those are some of the aspects that we have been addressing in the country.
And then are there specific programs that you guys have come up with to ensure that you fight the GBV?
We have partnership with Embassy of Italy, where we are addressing issues around access to justice. That's one of the programs. We have programs with COICA, which is looking at women economic empowerment and climate smart agriculture. We have different programs around women, peace and security, ensuring that we drive the women and peace security agenda in the country, making women as part of the peace builders in the different communities that are really volatile. So those are some of the programmings that we are doing in the country.
Great. And maybe looking at back in the years, let us talk about maybe last year, last one, and this year. What's the different? How different are you launching these 16 days of activism against GBV?
Okay. So this year around, what is very different is that we are reflecting. You remember that the Beijing plus 30 is near the door by 2025. And this was a declaration that was made in 1995. So this year around, we are reflecting on taking stock, ensuring that the duty bearers are accountable. These are commitments that was made, and the Kenya government also made a commitment. So what are those issues that have come out? That's one of the differences that for this year. The other aspect is around the rights holders, asking them to come and challenge. Ask the duty bearers, what are you doing? Why are you not doing it? So that's one of the gifts that we are using in this year's 16 days of activism campaign.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Dan Bazira, mtazamaji huyu hapa ni mwakilishi wa Umoja wa Mataifa, fahamika kama Dan Bazira, akizungumzia mengi, anasema mipango ambayo imekuwa na shirika la mataifa yani UN, hasa upande huu wa UN Women ambao vile vile wanahusika sana na swala hili la wanawake na kupambana na GBV, yani vita na dhulma za kijinsia. Basi mtazamaji, sina la ziada. Tuko hapa katika kaunti ya Makueni, siku 16 zimezunduliwa. Hivyo basi ni shughuli za kupambana dhidi ya ukipenda, manake wakati tunazungumzia jinsia. Yeah. Basi mtazamaji, tunaondoka kwa sasa. Mimi naitwa Nicholas Wambua kutoka kaunti ya Makueni na kurusha moja kwa moja hadi Nairobi.